We're here on our Peoria farm, and today we're going to show you the 130-acre tract that we're offering for sale. So we did a big project here and built some awesome food plots. Huge improvement to the access. Well, we're going to show you that. It's a really unique property and where it lies. Just outside of Peoria here, you're 10 minutes from super modern shopping centers and stuff. You've got half a mile on the Kickapoo, which is a famous Illinois smallmouth fishery. Right here behind us is a no hunting area.
One of the great things about this property is, like Bobby said, it's up against a protected portion of the park, but the larger portion of the park is actually on the other side. And they do allow hunting in there, but it's still a pretty controlled kind of a deal.
And I'm going to add that I live up against the park. As the crow flies, I'm about a mile away. And just for fun, I put cameras up in my backyard, and you're going to see some of the footage from this past fall and some of the deer I've gotten right in my backyard.
Yeah, and so what's cool about the park right here, it's how many acres?
3,200.
Okay, so 3,200 acres. So a lot of times, you know, people want to balance the pressure on their farm with the usability. So this place here, you could put, there's an awesome area for a cabin, barns, whatever up front. And then you can spend time with the family, general rec stuff on this giant area over here. And it sits, you know, half a mile from where we're standing this way. So just far enough where you'll get some transient deer, the pressure gets on, and these deer are gonna come over here and they're gonna load up in this no hunting area. It allows you to stay off of the farm. So this tillable field up here, there's a redneck blind that's in the back of the cove on a really tall platform, and there's a nice point that you could run a screen of miscanthus or something like that across, and you could have a nice, you know, secluded area that you could have the farmer plant for you, and then you can negotiate those crops back so you have a nice standing food source. So this is an incredible spot here. The east side access is a game changer to get up into here. So we got this blind right here, and there's a huge ditch that starts right behind the blind. It goes all the way down to this creek. So that is an awesome terrain feature that pinches these deer out. This is all like a southeast facing hillside, and there's a lot of structure in there, and we did some stuff to thicken it up back there, especially this one knob is just, when you stand there, like that's the place a big mature deer is gonna wanna lay. And over here, you got another big ridge, and they're south facing out on the end of it. So we're kind of between two bedding areas, all right? And like, no matter what time of year you're talking, deer are gonna be coming here. And you got this little cove, and it's cash rented this year, and it's gonna be farmed. You'd be able to negotiate to buy back some of this field. But in the future, what I would do if I continued to own this farm is I would put up like a temporary fence. After it was already planted or whatever, I'd put up a temporary fence with some hog panels or cattle panels and some stakes off of the wood line over there, and I'd bring it out to bow range from that blind, and I'd plant this in green. So you're gonna have a little kill plot in an area that bucks are gonna wanna cruise anyway in the rut, or earlier in the year, they're gonna transition into this green, and then they're gonna squeeze through that pinch into the crop. So it's kind of one of those spots that's gonna work all year long, whether it's late season, early season, or the rut. There will be big deer that die right here.
And if you're a turkey hunter, this field seems to be where you always see them.
Yeah, they roost back there. That kind of that same knob I was talking about with the deer, they just piled up in there. This property had an easement over here to the east side, but there was no way you were gonna utilize it. So we got these chunks of concrete. They're taking a bridge down over here on the highway. It was really a game changer for the usability of this property. The easement comes out of the neighborhood, it comes around here, and it stops right here behind the Ranger. And then there's two little chutes, kind of like an F, a backwards F. So the easement turns this way about 30 or 40 yards and touches the property. And then the easement goes on that side and touches the property. So you can come down here, you know, park, boom, into the 16-acre side of the Kickapoo, or all the way up to your field. It's just incredible east side access. Got this awesome, huge concrete crossing. And I've been told that this is one of the best smallmouth spots on the Kickapoo because of the water holes that it creates.
The old Kickapoo Creek.
Grab him.
This property is now off the market because I'm buying it. Whitetail Group. Smallmouth edition.
It's just surreal that you caught a smallmouth on a farm in Illinois. I never thought that would happen.
You can't do this in too many places in Illinois.
I've literally never seen Toby so excited on a farm. Not when there's a 200.
You thought I was a deer hunter. I'm really secretly a professional bass fisherman. Obviously you are not, because you just bird nested that first cast of that rod.
There we go.
There you go.
Not as big.
How big of smallmouth do they get?
You can get a 3 or 4 pounder.
The Big Food Plot Hill is just above us here, and we got this road that we kind of punched in right along this little pinch point of the Kickapoo. And this is general access. It's also the really good morning access to stay below that food and slip around here if you want to.
Look at all deer.
Look at all the deer running. So right where those deer are, there's a spring that we're gonna show you. So this is like kind of like the hub of the wheel for like deer in the rut kind of cruising. You've got a big point this way and south facing. You got a big bottom this way with a nice new trail with some crossings. It's a path of least resistance. You got this big flat up here with some trails coming off. And then you have the Kickapoo that makes a pinch point between that hillside and the creek bank over there. And we set up a rut stand over here, built this wall that we're gonna show you. So there's just like all these different travel corridors that are gonna lead to right here. There's gonna be a big concentration of scent. Kind of made this wall here to put a ladder in that back cottonwood and, you know, access it with perfect with a northwest wind. It's not too crazy terrain over there, but a northwest should blow pretty true down this bottom, and you'll be able to come in from the easement on the other side and get right up in the tree. So this is a super cool thing about this farm. It's got this massive spring that's coming out of this hillside. You can see all the crazy vegetation where that water is, and in the wintertime, I mean, the trails coming through the snow to that thing were just absolutely insane, but super cool. There's things we've done with these in the past where you can trench into them with a piece of drain tile and shove a piece of water line up in there and run that hose to a tank and just let it constantly fill and spill over. It's kind of cool to have a centrally located tank that you can put your camera on and stuff. All right, this is the greatest rut funnel hunting spot of all time.
Cut.
Oh.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
Our big flat here is a lot of bedding on it, and then it rolls off, and the entire length of it on the neighbors is all south-facing cedar thicket. These deer are just pouring out of it. In the rut, you're gonna get bucks cruising through the hardwoods, scent checking the upper side of it, along the edge of it. And the trails, I mean, there was like 1, 2, 3, there's all these trails diagonaling off of that. And then here you have, the neighbors have a huge crep CRP bottom. It's just all, you know, flat, thick bottoms, which are gonna hold deer. And then the Kickapoo makes a big bend here, and it's only about 50 yards over there. But then you got this little feeder ditch that comes down through our bottom here, and it comes out and it bends back. And so it forces the deer around it too. So all these deer are they were being pinched between this ditch and the last trail was probably about 50 yards up there, which puts, 50% chance you're hunting here and a deer is just out of range up there. So we hung a Novix stand right there in that maple with the split. We knew that was the tree we wanted because of the back cover and where it was. And your access, once again, coming in from the east, across the creek, boom, right up behind it. Don't leave any scent out here. So then what we did is we took a bunch of treetops and we pulled them up in here and we made this wall going up that ditch, so we blocked off all that deer travel. And then this wall that's over at the food plot comes all the way around to here and pinches them off. Everything comes down right here. So this flat, it starts tapering towards the northwest. It starts tapering uphill and it just makes this gigantic southeasterly facing bedroom. And we put just enough tops on the ground to where, it just gives some thermal, some thermal blockage from the wind, gives them things to bed up against, and creates a little more of a visual barrier, a little more sunlight. And all these deer are gonna flow right up to this food plot as they go out to the crops in the no hunting area. So it's kind of shaped like a funnel. So like these deer are gonna come in off this flat, they're gonna come in this wider area, and they're gonna squeeze through, and right up there, that white oak is the tree stand location that we basically built this plot around. The wall comes around like this, gives you that perfect 25-yard shot. And so this is that trail that connects up to the gate where we started, and it's in a low spot. You don't normally build a trail in a low spot because over time there'll be water in there and it'll wash. But the purpose of this trail is not for driving things, it's for easy, quiet walking. So you're gonna come up here to the south wind, right off the gate, get in that sucker, and then you're gonna be sitting here in October, and your wind's gonna be good, and then the sun's gonna go down and it's gonna die, and the thermals are still gonna suck straight down behind you. Right in here, there was a huge rubs. If that deer is still alive, I don't know anything about it because I wasn't here last year, but if that deer is still alive, which is a good chance, because there's 200 acres of no hunting right there, if he's still alive, he's dying in this food plot this year in October, because this is the type of plot you're gonna see deer in and out of all day long. You put a tree koi up here and get a camera on that scrape, and you start getting a buck in this plot, you better be in here. And then in the rut, you got this big flat that's somewhat low probability to just bounce around and climb in trees and try and shoot a deer. And you've just upped your probability huge. You don't have to go into it anymore. You can leave it as a sanctuary, slip in here in the rut, and this is gonna be again, it's gonna be a spot that bucks are gonna go to check and try and pick up scent.
With Bobby talking about these huge rubs over here, we believe that buck is still alive. One of his sides was found this past February. It's a 160 class 8-pointer. And again, I've got footage of some beautiful 160s and 170s just north in Jubilee. I've been living in this region for about 13 years now and have a lot of history with a lot of the people who hunt this area and know the quality of the animals. Boone and Crockett's are fairly common year to year with the occasional 200 that shows up, but you won't be disappointed. This has everything that you're looking for in terms of habitat, accessibility, multi-species, and just true trophy hunting. It's a dream farm. If you're interested, give me a call, Don Wagner, or Toby Stay, and we can answer questions and would arrange a private tour.